Here at Helmuth Ford, we are a small-town dealership with no hassle and no pressure.
The City of Sigourney will be accepting bids for the removal of snow. All sealed bids must be received by 4 p.m. on Monday, November 4th at the City Clerk's office at 100 North Main in Sigourney. Interested parties will be responsible for snow and ice removal from the sidewalks listed on the screen, as well as all the steps into the Memorial Hall. The snow and ice must be removed in a timely manner and according to the City Code of Ordinances. The successful bidder will be responsible to purchase ice melt and provide any equipment used. You may review a copy of the contract by contacting the City Clerk at City Hall. Re-elect Helena Hayes, Iowa House Representative. Helena Hayes serves Mahaska, Keokuk, and Jefferson County. Helena is protecting children, families, life, and religious freedom, and demands transparent government. Helena is defending your God-given constitutional and parental rights. For more information on Iowa House Representative Helena Hayes, go to helenaforhouse.com. Paid for by Helena for House.
Mayhem Haunted House at 13011 120th Avenue, Ottumwa invite you to come find out why Mayhem Haunted House has been voted the best haunted house in Iowa multiple times. Open for the Halloween season, Friday and Saturday through November 2nd. Cost is $15. Get ready to scream at Mayhem Haunted House in Ottumwa.
Attention all veterans and guests. The Keokuk County Veterans Affairs Office invites you to join them for a luncheon on Monday, November 11th from 11:30 to 1:30 at the Keokuk County Expo in Sigourney. The Veterans Affairs Office provides assistance to veterans in need. If you have any questions, contact Michelle Herman, the Veterans Affairs Administrator in Keokuk County, at the courthouse in Sigourney, 641-622-2761. And good morning. Welcome into the sports section. We are live from a brand new location. We are at Barnwired in downtown Sigourney on the south side of the square in Sigourney. So a new location. We kind of rearranged a few things on Steve Shetler Media here in the last few days. And yeah, we are happy to be here at Barnwired, kind of my home away from home. I'm here on Fridays with my Iowa Music Showcase, and now I'm here on Saturday mornings with our sports section. So glad to have Barnwired on board as our host venue. And we've got a guest host this morning, Eddie Conrad. He's my guy. When I need somebody, I call Eddie, and Eddie is in this morning, and we're starting things off as usual with Pekin coach Clint Weber, of course, coming off a tough loss last night in the playoffs. I know, Coach. Eddie, I'll let you take it away and start the conversation.
Yeah, good morning, Coach. First of all, congratulations on a wonderful season. You're doing a great job down there, and just tell us a little bit about the tough loss you guys had last night. From what it sounds, it really wasn't as – the score may not show the kind of effort you guys put forth.
Yeah, we drove up to Madrid, little bit of a drive there, and they were 7-2 going into last night, and they were their district champion. Solid football team, well coached football team, rich tradition up there, and Coach Brock Hinkle, he's their coach, and his dad Randy, the late Randy, he was kind of built that tradition. So community's behind him. We kicked off first, and they scored their first drive, and we drove clear back down to the 3 and couldn't punch it in. And kind of after that, it kind of settled in. They scored again in the first half. I think we had 2 or 3 times we were in the red zone, and we just come up short, missed opportunities, and I think that was tough mentally for our kids, knowing that we felt like we could have been tied or, in a perfect world, been up in the first half at half. But, we regathered ourselves at halftime. We come out, and really in the second half it was kind of like a slow bleeding. We just couldn't get over the hump, make enough plays to score, and eventually it resulted in our defense just not able to, continue getting stops, and we did lose 33-0. So, hats off to the Tigers, and kudos to our kids on playing their hardest clear through the final whistle. And at the end of the night, I guess it was a step forward from last year winning a playoff game, and had a lot of kids that were emotionally upset, which is a good thing, meaning they were invested. But I just told them I hope they can take all the lessons they've learned this year and in the last 4 years, and use them in life moving forward.
Yeah, so you guys had a pretty good set of seniors there, a good core group. But it's from what I was looking at, you guys have quite a few younger players that are coming up that got some playing time this year. You have something to build off of next year, and like we talked about, I think last time I was on here, that postseason experience is going to help your team. It's going to help you through the season next year. Those guys that are a little bit younger that'll be upperclassmen next year will kind of be able to grab onto that and lead the new kids coming in, and freshmen and sophomores. So kind of tell me a little bit about what you're looking for, the couple of those players that are coming back next year that you think are going to bring a little bit of leadership to your team.
Yeah, someone asked me that last night how many seniors we lose, but we bring back a lot that's on the field. There are certain areas that get robbed a little harder with graduation from team to team. We're going to lose quite a few. We'll lose 3 starting O linemen, and in a healthy world, we'll lose 3 starting D linemen. Those 3 were kind of interchangeable both sides of the ball when they were healthy. That'll be the biggest, I don't want to call it drop-off, but place to replace. And, I'm looking forward to the kids start that off-season process and thought process and strength gains and hopefully size gains. Got to eat, got to lift, got to sleep, got to be involved with other sports year-round, and, just keep rounding yourself. And time has to pass, too. So, I am excited there's kids that stepped up this year during some times of injury, and then there's kids that got time rotating in when some starters were out. So we do have a lot of kids that are going to be ready to step up moving forward to try and fill some of those holes. But as far as bringing some guys back, we have 4 to 5 skill guys that will be back. So, and that have started one way or the other. And so we got pieces. We got a lot of pieces to bring back, but there are some holes to fill.
If I remember anything other than when you were my coach, that you were pretty good at motivating people, whether it was in the weight room or strength and conditioning and that kind of stuff. You got a lot of energy, and you do a good job of bringing that to the players. And so I don't think there's ever going to be a lack of people wanting to be coached by you, which I think speaks volumes to you as a coach. So congratulations on that. Looking forward, I know that you do strength and conditioning. Do you have anything, what are your winter plans for getting your team prepped? Are you going to be getting ready for track? Kind of tell a little bit about the future going there down at Pekin.
Yeah, well, I am activities director, thanks to Lee over there pushing me to be better. So
I guess
I am a big promoter of other programs. I can't just be a football guy, and I don't want to just be a football guy. I enjoy watching other sports. I played other sports. So I know our basketball coach is excited. I know we got a lot of underclassmen linemen that are going to wrestle this offseason. Not saying linemen shouldn't be basketball players, but if you're not really skilled, wrestling is a benefit for anyone but linemen. So I am excited for Coach Chapman. I think we're going to have over 10 boys out, and last year was only 4 or 5. And I think only a couple of those played football. So different thing going forward to promote the winter sports. Basketball, a lot of our skill kids will be on the floor for that. And then we got kind of a rich tradition in track and field. We don't host golf or soccer or anything like that. So our track program last year was a big reason of why some of the kids that are on the field skill wise for a football team had so much success this year. And and then we got a crew that loves baseball. So we got a lot of 4-sport athletes on our team that are great athletes, and they're just well-rounded, and they got great parental support systems. So, I am excited I didn't want it to end, but I'm excited to exhale a bit and just make sure, like, the scoreboard's working and do some of that stuff that, you're not always – I mean, the hours add up, and we love it, but, now that we've accepted defeat, it's moving on and trying to support kids in other angles of their life.
It's probably good for you to be the AD and involved in other sports, because I know that the season is over, but it's going to take you a while to get through it and process it. But if you got other things on your mind, like getting these kids ready for wrestling and getting them ready for basketball, that'll probably help you kind of work through those. Well, congrats on being the AD. I guess I didn't know that, but when did you take that position?
Like December of, what is this, 2024? So December of 23.
Okay. Yeah. Well, congrats.
That role.
So you got, what is becoming the AD then? You're used to dealing with boys sports. Now you're kind of more integrated in girls sports. I guess talk a little bit about that. What do you see for the girls? Is Pekin going to have a girls wrestling team? Or are we going to have? Talk a little bit about that for this winter.
I don't like talking about future expectations, but since it's not my program, I'm going to put the pressure. I think our girls wrestling program's got a legit shot to win the first official SEISC conference wrestling tournament for Iowa High School, because last year we had a solid squad, but they didn't have like an official tournament. It was kind of thrown together. But I really think our girls, we have 13 girls out. Two of them that have qualified for state in the last 2 years, and then a handful more that are right there at districts. I'm going to put pressure on Coach Chapman that the girls gotta step up and have a good year, because I think there are high expectations. And basketball, same thing. We got girls that they struggled a little bit last year, but they got a lot of girls back. So I love watching girls sports. I've coached girls track here at Sigourney years back. Junior high basketball before that, even softball before that. So love, and I think softball program's on the rise down there, and then track's always great as well. So and shout out to Chloe Glosser's running at state cross country today. So we have we got a well-rounded boys girls program on a lot of ends, and I am excited to just support everyone.
Well, I look forward to you doing well down there at Pekin, and good luck to all your athletes that are going forth this winter. Steve, you got any questions there for Clint?
I'll bring up, let's backtrack to last night's game. I'm going to bring up the picture right now on the screen. Of course, we pick a Daisy Dew Landscaping Player of the Game for Pekin every game, win or lose, whatever the outcome. Last night's Player of the Game, as picked by our announcers, was Robert Brown, as we dubbed him Downtown Robert Brown. He was the player of the game for Pekin. What are your thoughts on Robert's play from last night?
Yeah, Robert, he had so much success last year, and then through the first 4 to 5 games that he just was getting double and triple teams. So we start putting him in motion a lot to get him separated. And he's a kid. He ran cross country as a freshman, went out as a sophomore, had no clue. He'll say it. He didn't really understand football yet, and he had a great JV season and then kind of exploded as a junior. So hats off to him, just learning fast and using his speed and his ability to catch the ball. It made him kind of instantly successful. So the other thing I really wanted to do this morning was shout out to my wife first, just for all the hours of sacrifice and taking care of 3 girls under 7 years old, and then all our coaches' wives as well, just sacrificing all their time, and then obviously our players and their parent systems, just the meals and organization. Lena Adam at Booster Club and everybody below her. I just, their field had 150 Pekin people on it for 45 minutes after the game last night. So just cool to see all that, people coming from different directions. My high school head coach showed up. He's from Madrid. And then a lot of people from Sigourney there last night supporting. So, and obviously the Pekin people. So it's just really cool to see the support from a lot of angles for the kids we have. And
I want to, of course, I contacted you, back around maybe January, saying, hey, we should do Pekin football here on Steve Shuttler Media. And I know you jumped on board immediately. You were very excited. So I just want to thank you. and the school, the community of Pekin High School for accepting Steve Shetler Media in. And I felt very welcome. Everybody, you've got Sherry Westendorf here in attendance today, bringing me cupcakes this morning. I'm feeling the love from Pekin. I appreciate you guys letting me do your sports. Of course, we're going to be doing basketball coming up this winter. I appreciate you, Clint, and you've been super helpful and very friendly with everything we're doing.
All right. Well, thanks for having me.
All right. That is Clint Weber from Pekin Football here on Steve Shetler Media. We've got Eddyville Blakesburg Volleyball coming up next. We're going to take a quick commercial break, get the ladies in from EBF Volleyball, and we'll be back with more after this. Adam Clark for Sheriff. Veteran Integrity Leadership. Adam Clark, candidate for Keokuk County Sheriff, is a native of Keokuk County. He's devoted his adult life to service at both the national and community levels. In addition to his service as a law enforcement professional, Adam works extensively with local youth programs and is actively involved in the community. Some of Adam Clark's initiatives are to strengthen the Keokuk County Sheriff's Department. He wants to collaborate with communities countywide and work to establish a school resource officer. Vote Adam Clark for sheriff at the general election November 5th. All right, we are back live here on Steve Shetler Media. You guys aren't on screen quite yet, but we do thank Barn Wired here in Sigourney. As we mentioned at the top of the show, brand new location for the sports section on Saturday mornings. We're at 119 East Marion in Sigourney. You can stop in for your morning coffee needs. I know some of the ladies from EBF Volleyball, I think, are taking advantage of the coffee here at Barn Wired. They've got breakfast. Steven's back in the kitchen getting breakfast ready. So whatever your needs are this morning, get in here to Barn Wired. And of course, as we can see in the background here more momentarily, as we talked about yesterday when we were in for the Iowa Music Showcase, Barn Wired has definitely turned into Christmas season. They've got their Christmas stuff up here in the shop, so you can start doing your Christmas shopping and start decorating for Christmas with everything available here at Barn Wired. All right, we've got again our fill-in host for this Saturday, the guy I lean on in my times of need, Mr. Eddie Conrad, hanging out as our host. And yes, the super successful EBF volleyball team. I'm really excited, always excited to have people from outside of the Sigourney area joining the show. We appreciate the Eddyville Blakesburg Fremont volleyball coach and team for getting up early on their Saturday. I know you guys probably would be preferring to sleep in right now, but you made the trip to Sigourney. Eddie, I'll let you take it away.
Yeah, good morning, ladies. I'm actually going to let you guys go through, introduce yourself, kind of tell grade, and then position you're playing. I guess in volleyball it kind of shifts around, but if you guys, I guess, just go ahead.
It does. I'm Coach Densko, so I'm plus 12th grade, I guess. So these other gals, they are part of they're all seniors, so go ahead.
I'm Molly Schaefer, and I'm an outside hitter, and I'm a senior.
I'm Kate Schaefer. I'm a senior, and I'm a setter.
I'm Ella Ray. I'm a senior, and I'm a right side hitter.
I'm Kaylee Helm. I'm a senior. I'm the libero. I'm Chloe Lyon, also a senior, and I'm a middle hitter.
So like I was telling you guys a little bit beforehand, don't know a whole lot about volleyball, so I did a little bit looking on stats. You guys have had a stellar season. According to Bound, you guys 34-2
Yes.
is what it shows. And you guys just won your regional, and you guys are headed to the Extreme Arena for the first round to play Iowa City Regina.
Yes.
I hope you beat them because I'm really not the biggest Regina fan. So go for it. I want you to put it to them. So what popped off the screen to me when I was looking kind of through the stats is the Schaefer girls here. You guys look like you guys might know each other, might work well together. There's a lot of assists, a lot of kills going between the two of you. Kate, you've had 837 assists. Molly, you've had 602 kills. That's a lot. That's quite a bit. Kind of talk about the way you guys work together on the court.
I mean, yeah, we've always had a really good setter-hitter connection just because we've played together for so long, and she's always been the setter, and I've always been the hitter, so we really have a good connection.
Yeah, and Molly's always super reliable, and she gets a lot of attempts, so that's why she has a lot of kills. I mean, she's super kill efficient, so she's always reliable and super trustworthy, so she's always one of our go-tos on our team.
Coach, talk about a little bit going into the postseason, you have a lot of seniors here. I feel like this is a big senior group for a volleyball team. Kind of talk about how these girls have worked together. I know you have two maybe key pieces, but you obviously got a lot of good players here that make that work.
Yeah, I mean, we're not always just, senior dominant all the time. With the game of volleyball, as specified positions, that we have. We have some other kids that are younger that are, in the mix too. But, putting it all together, to use about a 8-9 man, type of roster. And so, yeah, and, going into the postseason is something that's always kind of a spark of a new season, for anybody, that's in, any type of sport. And, yeah, we just had a lot of success the last few years, and these guys being, their fourth year has really contributed to that this year too as well, and just kind of continued the tradition that we have over at EBF. And yeah, I think these guys have really just owned up to their position very well. And you speak of these guys of being the setter-hitter combination. Right behind us is a libero position that's really crucial too to help try to set that up, as well. And with these other two, with the middle right side, just putting that combination together, and the flow of their their mentalities and how well they work together has just really created an awesome environment for that volleyball. So yeah,
like you were saying, if you've had players that have played together for a while, and this is in any sport, you kind of get to know, almost have an idea what that person's going to do. You can kind of work together a lot better. Going into the postseason again, if you guys, the older you have, and if you have postseason experience, that helps you. Because some teams can get fatigued, they can get tired, they can get worn out, and maybe injuries. But if you have teams that have been to the postseason, they have experience, you kind of can work through that, and you keep that excitement and knowing that, hey, we got this, we're going to go as far as we can go.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes that's half the battle, just that, mental aptitude that you have, going into any type of game. And especially for us, we've been to the Extreme Center. This will be our third year of going to that. And so kind of the nerves, I think we kind of talked about that just a little bit yesterday, is, as in, we know where we're going, we kind of know what we're doing, versus the other team, maybe not so much. And plus we played Regina early in the season and did beat them. So that's kind of just a comfort mental, attitude. Yeah, we know what they are. It's just so different, when you just watch teams on video and really have not played against them, and then things seem to be a little bit different, but we've got the true test of kind of, knowing what they are. Obviously, they're going to be, a little better, too, than what they were at the beginning of the season. But, we're a lot better, too. So I think, half the battle is just the mental side of the game. And I think that's kind of almost tackled a little bit, besides the nerves. We're all going to be nervous as we go in. But, we're going to go in and do our job.
I think the other thing that I've noticed, again, across all sports is a team as good as you guys are, you guys can expect, hey, we're going to win every time we go in there. How do you curb the expectation of winning, but also not overlooking your opponent? And I see that happen a lot if you go and play somebody that may not have the record you have, may not have the stats you have. You almost come in with your foot off the gas a little bit. How do you keep your team ears pinned back and ready to go?
When you say take your foot off the gas, I don't think we're ever taking our foot off the gas. I just think that, especially what I do as a coach, I'm always, telling them to focus. We focus a lot on just ourselves and making sure that we do our job, and forget what's happening on the other side until we really have to. But I think a lot of times we, really focus on making sure we have a good pass, and, the other offense comes along with it, making sure that we are solid on defense. And so just playing our game. I don't really ever think of, oh, this is just this kind of a team, even though, the records do kind of indicate that themselves. But I think we just always are really focused, and our goal, we're so competitive, that we want to win. We want to win big too.
Hey, if you can keep your team that way, that's a really good way to go into the postseason, really a good way to go into the season in general. I want to kind of step back and take a time for each one of the players here to talk about kind of their favorite moment, maybe not so much this year, but maybe in their career since they're all seniors. Talk about one crucial game that they've all really enjoyed playing in. So if we could, let's pass around the mics and, yeah.
I think one of our favorite ones when we got in the locker room was against the Van Buren game. We all just kind of looked at each other and were like, that was just a big win. We all got involved. We all played well, and it was just it was a very enjoyable game. I think we all talked about that as a team.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think all the postseason games are really fun for us. We just it's just so competitive for us because, if you lose, you're done. So you just kind of have to I don't know, you get excited and you get really hyped up for those games.
I think this year my favorite game has been our final postseason game, and I think it just kept the crowd on edge when we went to 4 sets. But we all connected really well that game, and I think that we all had a lot of teamwork, and it went really well, and to ending with a win to go to state was really great for us and a really exciting moment.
Yeah, I mean, postseason games are always fun, but I always remember the one my sophomore year, the first time we made it to state. That was just like a different type of feeling. Like I was next level excited. So that was my favorite game.
My favorite is just going to be all the state games in general, just because the atmosphere is so much fun. The crowds are insane, and it's just really cool to be there.
What about you, Coach?
Oh, my turn.
With this group, what's your favorite moment with this group you've had here?
I think I have to kind of go back with kind of what Kate said, just like the starting of this tradition of going to state is, that game that we won was exciting. I mean, the feeling that you get when that last point is there and we're really going to state is just amazing. And I think that is kind of the one that kind of gives you the chills, that first start of it. Then the next ones you get going, and then they expect it, and then this one they expect it. And yeah, we did give them a thriller for the other night. That was kind of nerve-wracking to go 28-26 the very first game. So yeah.
I know the season isn't over. It's just your postseason is just starting. But I kind of want to talk to the seniors. What have you guys done to prepare your underclassmen for coming in next year? When you guys aren't there, what do you guys talk about? Any of you guys can talk. I don't know which one, but how do you prepare your teammates? Because it's not always on the coach. It's kind of on those upperclassmen to bring the underclassmen up.
I mean, yeah, it's just having them work hard in practice and doing things in the off season that really helps you grow as a volleyball player and as an athlete. So yeah, just spending more time on volleyball, just taking a little bit of time in the off season and working on your volleyball skills.
Oh, I would say that when we play them a lot in practice, so we don't make it easy for them. I mean, I set Molly, she hits it on the 10-foot line. It may be scary at first, but they've seen that before. They know what that is. And now when they come in big games with big hitters, they're ready because they have all these people hitting at them, Kaylee digging up their balls. So it's just they're prepared because we've pushed them and not taking it easy on them.
Anybody else?
I think it really just comes to leading by example. I think we've done a really good job, especially Kate and Molly and Kaylee and Ella and whatnot, just leading by example and showing them what that communication working as a team looks like.
It's been really great in the postseason so far because a lot of our younger girls are coming up and practicing with us still, and it's great to see those numbers in the gym, knowing that they're willing to put in that time even out of their season to come and help us work on things and to also benefit for themselves to make themselves better for the next season.
And I think I agree with Chloe, just kind of being good leaders and like taking the time to actually help them and not put them down and make them feel bad for their mistakes. Just take the time to help them in practice and show them what they did.
I think one of the advantages too that we have is we've got another kind of half of our team that they are younger kids, and that's just something I think traditionally along the way, and maybe with most programs too, is that you don't just always just have just seniors out there. You've got other kids that are part of your program and part of that varsity team, and so it just kind of refills in with that experience, with younger experience, and you just kind of keep going that way. And I think that's one reason why we have been successful, being able to use some of those younger kids and they're still at that level, and we just kind of help groom them along and just reload for the next year. So
yeah, I think that that's how you start building traditions. It's not always on the coach, really. You can be the greatest coach, but it has a lot to do with your players. They got to buy in. I guess that does go back to the coach if they're buying in, if they're buying into you. But you got to have great players that bring up the younger players. That's just how you start building it, because then it just keeps rotating. You never really drop down. Even if somebody says, "Oh, you're losing these people," you're like, "Well, those people taught. They're going to learn. Everybody's going to be learning on the way up."
But one thing I just want to give a shout out to, a couple of our assistant coaches. Robin Taylor, for one, she works with our younger kids. Tori Alexander, who works with our JV kids too, and they have set the platform and have given them tools, and even with this varsity team, so much knowledge and so much detail to the game that just makes us better and sets us apart from, some of the other team. It doesn't just come from me as a head coach, but, the rest of my staff just do a tremendous job of being able to get us to the level that we're at.
Before I, end and congratulate all you guys, I kind of want to know, each one of you guys, what's your plans? I know it's early. You don't have to have plans for next year. Some people don't really get it planned out until spring. What are you guys going to do moving forward after you leave EBF?
I'm going to attend UNI and play volleyball.
This is going to be shocking, but I'm also attending UNI and playing volleyball.
As of right now, the plan is to attend Simpson and throw on the track and field team.
I don't really know where I'm going to go, but I'm going to study diagnostic medical sonography. So,
a lot of big words. Yes. My plan is to attend Liberty University for a pre-med degree.
And as long as they have me, I plan to come back to EBF and coach volleyball.
Sounds like you have a lot of driven players this year, Coach. Again, congratulations. It's not over. It's just started, right? You guys, good luck moving forward. Anything you want to say else, to the community, to any of your coaches, staff, anything like that?
Yeah, just a shout out to academics, being in school. These are student athletes, and all of these guys are a 4.0 grade point average students, all sitting right here,
Congrats.
And they're all busy and so many other different things, and it's just wonderful to see how they're multi-athletes, and it's kind of what it takes for them to be well-rounded, and that's a lot of our sports at EBF, and a lot of reasons why we're successful in a lot of our sports, because we can have the opportunity to be well-rounded and great people.
Hey, before you get out of here, group photo. We can't pass up this moment. 3, 2, and 1. We'll take a few here. All right. I got a few things. So our regular host, Andy McGuire, always asks the teams, when there's several people in from a team, he always asks them if there is a specific song, as he likes to call it, a specific jam that you guys like to listen to that gets you hyped up before the game. What are you guys listening to in the locker room?
So we have a tradition of playing the song Hit the Quan before every game. So we
I don't
dance.
know that. Can somebody sing that for me? Hit the Quam.
Yes. So we dance to that before every game, and it just is a tradition now, and
Let's
gets
see
us
some of the
hyped.
dance. Come on. Bust a move.
You have to play that on your station there
you
in between.
Also, I was just going to say thank you, Coach. Coach always sends me a recap, kind of an all self-contained. Basically, you're writing the article for media outlets. So, I share it on my page, and I appreciate you sending those out. It makes life easy for me. So,
Well, you're welcome. Yeah, we just want to get that information out and just keep our people that do follow us just kind of up to date of what's going on and how maybe the game went, just a little
Sure.
synopsis of that, and
yeah,
and a little bit of stats with it too. And
Yep,
yeah.
very informative.
We appreciate the media that you give us and
yeah.
the exposure too.
Schaefer girls, you guys could be twins. What's the age difference?
We are twins.
Oh, you are twins. I thought you guys were in different grades.
She said
Why
they're
did I
all
think
seniors,
that?
Steve. Come on. I know you
Shut
got
up,
the
Eddie.
Well, but one's got to be older than the other. Who came out
2
first?
minutes old.
All right, yeah,
2
all right.
minutes
See,
older.
there was a
Okay.
difference. For some reason, I was thinking there was an age gap. All right, I'm an idiot. It's always whenever I put my, if you guys pay attention, like to the athlete of the week stuff that I do and the team of the week, I always, of course, I'm just going to Bound. And unless people are giving me good nominations in the comments, I'm always going to Bound. I'm sifting through the stats, and of course, you two always are top tier with your stats. So it's like, who am I going to put on my athlete of the week poll this week? Is it going to be Kate or Molly? Molly or Kate? So you guys make it tough. Not taking anything away from anybody else, but stat-wise, you guys are always at the top. But I think that's about all we got for you. Again, appreciate you guys getting up early and coming in today.
Thank you very
and,
much, ladies.
Yeah, you're
and best
welcome.
of luck
Thank
at the tournament.
Yeah,
so.
hey, just a shout out to our EBF community. I mean, they have been tremendous followers for us for away games, our home games, the EBF TV, and those crew too that come to all of our games, and they do a tremendous job. And just a big shout out to them and say thank you very much for following us, and and they're super fans for us.
What time you guys playing? When can we tune in? Where do we got to be? Tell everybody out there where they need to be to watch you guys.
Yeah, you can watch any of the volleyball games on the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Unions Network. And if you've not ever been up to state, there's always 2 games going at one time, and they kind of staggered those a little bit. But you can tune into any of those games and even go back and watch those. But we play on Tuesday. Class 2A are playing at 2:25, and are playing against Iowa City Regina. And if we would like to win that match, and then we'll play on Wednesday, I believe around 4 o'clock, 4:25, something like that. And we win that one, then we'll be in the finals then again late in the afternoon on Thursday.
All right.
Go Rockets.
Yeah, thank you.
Again, thanks for coming in, and have a great rest of your weekend. That is the EBF volleyball team. You guys are good to go here on Steve Shetler Media, live from Barnwired with our sports section. Appreciate you guys coming in. Safe travels. And what we're looking at right now on the screen, make sure you get your coffee. If you didn't get your coffee yet, get your coffee on the way out. What we're looking at on the screen right now is our Kelly Style State Farm Team of the Week, as voted on this past week in our polls that we were talking about. That is Pekin football. That was the second win of the football season for Pekin football and Coach Weber's team. Of course, the season came to an end last night, but what a fantastic season for Pekin football. Our Team of the Week for 11-124 Kelly Style State Farm Team of the Week. Our Athlete of the Week, voted on this past week. She is competing today in state cross country, is the Keokuk County Hospital and Clinic's Athlete of the Week, North Mahaska Cross Country's Emerson Jedlicka. Emerson has had a fantastic year this year. Again, she's competing today. We wish her the very best of luck at the state cross country meet. So come on up, guys. We'll get you on next for our next segment here on the sports section. Let's actually, before we get in there, let's take a look at some very limited scores for area teams last night as far as who we cover here on Steve Shetler Media. Of course, that Pekin score against Madrid, and then Montezuma with the exciting win in 8-man football over Bedford last night, 32-28. So Montezuma staying alive in the playoffs. Our scoreboard brought to us by Sheets Chiropractic and Wellness here in Sigourney, Iowa. All right, let me adjust my camera just a hair. And our final guest of the day is Mr. Lee Crawford from Sigourney High School. And Lee is in this morning to kind of recap the fall season, talk about the upcoming winter season. Eddie, take it away.
Morning, Coach. How you doing?
Morning. You better be careful. I think your girlfriend's going to buy the whole store here pretty quick.
I know she's walking around. She's got to play. Okay,
she started a stack over there.
Every time she comes in here, she comes home with some kind of something new. So shout out to Barnwired for that. Congrats on the football season. It didn't end the way we wanted. Obviously, I'm up there announcing, and that was a tough one. That was a really tough one.
Yeah, it was. I had to leave and go down, obviously, to do a couple things at the end of the game. It was just a tough break for our kids. Yep. I think. I thought they really battled through some adversity through the game. And I heard you say, that they had, you start out with a 14-0 lead, and then kind of, you have a little ding in the armor there, and then, I thought they really battled through mentally through the game as far as trying to come back. Just like you said, there was a couple moments I'm like, okay, here we go. We got some momentum going, and then just a bad thing would happen, or a big play by West Branch. You got to give them some credit too. I mean, they had those 4 or 5 big plays that kind of just broke our back a little bit. But I thought our kids were pretty resilient when it came to battling back and right down to the bitter end of a play with 4 or 5 seconds left in the game.
Yeah, I didn't see too many heads hanging, and if they were, it was very short-lived. They came back and battled and worked through it, and you never really thought they were out of it. And I don't want to linger on the football because
that's fine.
It's over. But that was a good job by them, and I guess. Did West Branch win last night?
They did not. They had number 1 Grundy Center. It was like 55-7 or 42-7, something like that.
Grundy looks like they might two-peat this year.
Yeah, so. I guess they're really putting Dyke and Grundy there. Yeah. They're pretty close, and they're probably 1 and 2 right now.
So moving on, you're the athletic director here in Sigourney. So you just like Clint, you kind of have to have your eye on all the sports. What are you looking forward to this fall or this winter? Because we got girls wrestling coming up. We got a good wrestling program, good basketball program. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, first let me hit on our volleyball team was 17-6. let me hit on that. Let me finish hook up things with them because I teach the senior government class, so I'll have senior girls all over me if I don't mention them. They were 17-6 on the season. I thought they had a really great season. They were in the gold bracket for the Sickle tournament, I believe for the second year in a row. Maybe 3 out of the last 4 years we've been in the gold bracket fighting for a conference title with this group, and really put a great cap on their season going 17-6. They ran into number 1 Ankeny Christian, who's been like in the title game the last 2 or 3 years, been a state champ, and kind of just got a bad draw with some of that. But otherwise, Coach Davis, Coach Hansen did a great job with them. Really looking forward to. They lose 7 or 8 seniors here, so it's going to be a little bit of a rebuild. But I'm looking forward to see what they can get done. Shout out Troy Klett. Is he at state cross country today? Talked to Troy and his family last night. We had a little send off at 3:30 there for him, and really looking forward to seeing what he can do as a junior, and then what he's going to build off of a track season and going back to cross country. And then I need to shout out our girls team for cross country. They had an amazing season with the Yates twins, Bryn Clarahan, Chloe Wilson. We had 4, and they scored really well. Top 10 finishes by all of them. Had a really great season with Coach Branstead. Just needed that 5th runner to win some team competitions and do some things. And then talking to Coach Branstead, we thought if we would have went to the Regina district instead of Pleasantville, you probably would have had a couple girls running at state cross country today as well. So just a great fall season for us as far as starting off the school year, building our culture. And all of our kids seem to be involved in something or one or another, and just a great way to start the year for us. So, Winter?
Yeah. No, again, congrats to all of the fall teams. I always focus on football. That's on me.
I know.
I always focus on football because I
know
I get to be up in the press box and stuff. But, again, congrats to the cross-country team. You said Troy's running today or?
Today, 11:30.
Today, 11:30.
It's Class 1A, boys, yeah.
So good luck to him. Everybody support him. Thoughts and prayers on him going in. And, again, congrats to the girls volleyball team. We were talking with the EBF team. Those seniors.
I can't believe you didn't know they weren't twins.
I think he did. I think he did. He wanted some comedic relief. Don't pick on him.
Those 2 girls have been hammers all 4 years over there. I mean, it's just
going to end this show right now.
Then they, I knew they had signed with UNI. I'm like, well, I'm just glad they're graduating.
But be up there with Carly Goodwin up at UNI.
Yeah, they play. But they're basketball, they're softball. They've been very good athletes for EBF. That whole group.
Well, like they were talking about though, and having a lot of seniors. From what I have, my brief encounters with the seniors that we've had. They're going to bring those underclassmen up, and they're going to teach them a lot.
Yes,
so
I love
that's a good thing.
Listening to the EBF girls talk about that, I really enjoyed hearing that because that's how programs grow. And when they were sitting there talking, my thoughts went right back to Dyke New Hartford's volleyball program because they've had the Becker and the Petersons, there forever, but they just keep reloading because they've built up that tradition of that. This is what we do, and really that's what at Sigourney and Sigourney Keota Sports. That's kind of what we're doing. We've kind of hit a different level. We've taken, the football success, and we see that model a little bit with Coach Jensen, Coach McCulley, Coach Sellers, all those guys, and we kind of tried to use that model and bleed it into other things. And we're really trying to keep the momentum going from the fall of the things we've worked towards all summer long. We came out of a great summer, and trying to keep that momentum going and get some of those things into our other sports.
Yeah, and I think that has to do with, like you said, the coaches. And Clint was here, so I'm going to go back to him because he was always a strength and conditioning coach here when I was in school. That's all off season. I mean, you're still working out, you're still lifting a little bit during season, but all the off season work is what you get. And when you have guys that buy in for a state baseball run, then they come in, they got to start playing football. The coaches are the ones that build them and keep their energy up to go into the next sport, wrestling, basketball, whatever it needs to be. And I think that's part of the culture too. It's not only the community backing them. It's not the players. It all starts, I think, with the coaches, and they're making players want to be there. And I think that stands to you as well.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of things. I mean, I think right now we've got great coaching staffs in about everything we do. And we've kudos to Coach Weber and the Pekin Panthers. I did enjoy watching them And I talk to Clint probably about every day or every other day through Snapchat or text or something. We're always talking about some stuff, and kudos to them and them. But yeah, I think our coaching staffs, we're sitting very, very good right now where we're at. And like you said, I think our coaches promote. We try to promote multi-sport athletes. Get out for something else. Don't do just one thing. And then I heard Coach Weber say it multiple times. We've got a very good parent base right now. They are very supportive of what we're doing. And then I will give a shout out to the other piece of the pie. I think is Mrs. Webb as our principal, and then our teaching staff, high school and junior high, elementary. I think there's a focused goal there, and Mr. Hatfield obviously, but there's a focused goal there with our staff of, we have a certain standard that we need to keep as far as academics, and I think we keep a very high standard there, and Mrs. Webb's behind that, and I think that's a bigger piece than people think as far as motivating kids and molding kids into young adults.
I think it's harder to you're not going to find anybody that's a bigger Sigourney community fan than Miss Webb, I think. Academic-wise and sports-wise, she has been, she was the principal when I was there, so she's been there almost 15 years, I think.
Don't tell her that.
I have to say that to her because I can give her crap.
I'm getting in trouble right now, just so you know. So.
But, no, I don't think you're going to find a bigger fan, and that's good that you point that out because, Miss Webb has done a lot for this community. So
there's a lot of other pieces in there. But I need to shout out our staff, but in our coaching staff and our academic staff, I think there's just a pretty good blend of people. Yep. Gives you well-rounded things, and I think keeping the standard of higher academics, and you're kind of seeing that with where some of our kids are going now. With Carly, with you and I, and Josephine Moore's signed with Iowa Central softball, and I know Isaac Bruns is going to go somewhere. I think we've got some other kids that are going to go do other things as well. Caden Clarehan signed with Southeastern. So you're seeing some of that academic stuff pay off for them because, higher grades and higher ACTs and those things probably get you just as much money as your athletic talent right now.
Yeah, so talking about this, building on your community and this teaching staff, how's that going to help us moving forward to the winter?
I knew you'd transition to that somehow. I'm really looking forward to the winter. I've had, Ike Molnick's, Braden Wood have been knocking at my door already. Can we go shoot? Can we shoot? And I'm like, yep, go shoot. I'll work in my room. Just go shoot. And John Berg, shout out to Barnwired there. So they've come in a couple times, shot for an hour or so. Bryn Clarehan and Addie Finner have been in to shoot a little bit. And I'm just trying to, you've got a week here. Let's heal up a little bit. I was worried about Ike's leg a little bit, but we're going to start open gyms next week. Kaylee Weber, our head girls basketball coach, has a couple planned. Really, she'll be a first-year head coach with Craig Moore as the assistant. Really looking forward to see what she can do. We'll have a kind of a mix of a squad, with a couple older girls, but then you're going to have a couple of freshmen. I think they're going to get involved in there, and they'll have a pretty good mix coming out of volleyball and what that looks like. And I think, in the sickle, you've got your Montezumas, Mahaskas, and Linville Sully's obviously, but I think we'll be able to compete and be above average squad there. Boys side of basketball, I think that's probably one of the bigger things people are looking forward to this winter. We've got all of our squad coming back. They played in the fall league, which up in Williamsburg, which they did very well in. Scored a high number of points most of the time every night with Bruns and Solon Yates and Ike and John Berg coming back as starters, Braden Wood coming back, and they've got we've got a very good freshman class. I think we're going to have, if Coach Tremmel is correct, I think we're going to have anywhere from 25 to 30 boys out for high school basketball this winter. So
I think we were lucky to have 10 or 15 when I was.
Yeah, and we've gone in and added some extra JV games, so we'll have a JV1 and JV2 there. And I think it's it's our freshman class is very good. They're very good athletes about everything they do, honestly. And we're really trying to make sure we build enough through, all of the things they want to do and make sure there's enough events to keep them all out and keep them busy.
I think that, again, going back to the fall a little bit, how many times did our JV and freshmen have to go play 3A schools? Just you guys did a good job of filling their schedule, making sure that they were. I think that has a lot to do with them wanting to go out for more sports. It's like, why would you want to go and sit when you can go and play a game.
Yeah, and that was part of the objective is we don't want them sitting.
Yep.
And if you go back, I don't know how old you are, but if you go back to, like, I know Andrew Utterback's grade did 5 o'clock curtain raisers every
We did curtain raisers. We even played Iowa City West one time.
every game.
We did. So we
every
didn't have
every
enough
week
players,
there was
I
a
think.
5 o'clock
Yeah.
curtain raiser, and then
Yep.
on top of that there was a JV game every Monday night back then. So we did some of that this year. We had 2 or 3 curtain raisers this year where our numbers were at, and we were able to pull that off number wise. Didn't get in trouble or have to forfeit any games, which was awesome. But yeah, we're trying to build the program up, and just like EB volleyball, football kind of does that same thing, and in basketball, and I think it's the same problem's going to be in baseball as well. We're going to have bigger numbers out and have to find games for these kids.
Yeah, and kudos to you for making that effort, reaching out to other schools, reaching out to other communities, and bringing everybody together for it.
So just so people are aware, like, we could talk forever, Eddie. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Our conference is mostly 8-man. So this happens in junior high football and in high school football. Our conference is mostly 8-man. So there's like 4 teams in our conference that play 11-man football. So in junior high, they can only really field 1 team.
Yep.
So it kind of, we could probably do that, but then they'd be playing every Tuesday and Thursday, a 7th grade game and 8th grade game. So we've been looking for doubleheader matchups. So our schedule was, the Pella Christians, the Davis Counties, but this year we had the same problem in junior high this year. We had to go play, Alburnett because they would give us 2 games, West Burlington because they'd give us 2 games, Mediapolis because they'd give us 2 games, and that's we've kind of asked to be a part of a little junior high conference now that would give us some insight to playing 2 games a week and spread out the schedule a little bit. But otherwise, I was having to search for games for junior high. Not less, JV, we kind of ran the same boat. We were playing some schools that didn't have JVs, didn't want to play us in JV, so that's why you saw some of the travel of Knoxville and Keokuk and playing independence at Benton Community is, we've got to find games for the kids, and we had to go wherever we could do that.
Yeah, and those connections for you, I'm sure, were going to help forward in basketball when you guys have 25 kids out and you need games. You already kind of have some of those connections, and those schools have athletes out.
Yep.
So how does that kind of move forward into the basketball and forward?
We've been looking for JV basketball games. We put it out on the AD network and sending emails trying to find some games for these kids. And I'm already, like, I was Dowling was looking for freshman games, and so I emailed them because, like, oh, you want a game? We'll come play, and they had already filled it. So we've reached out probably about an hour and a half radius around Sigourney so far, and probably looking to expand that a little bit. We're still adding a couple games. I got to get a date with Hillcrest lined up yet. We just finalized a doubleheader with Ottumwa that we're going to host on January 18th. So just trying to find events to keep the kids active. It is student-based activities, so
tireless job for an AD, right?
I'm sure people think it's a downtime right now, but it's not.
I don't know if I've ever seen you have a downtime.
There's
Coach.
not much of a downtime, no. Maybe a week in the Ozarks with my family, but that might, and even then my wife yells at me for being on my phone. Kudos to my wife, by the way. She puts up with a lot of me, and I appreciate all of her support.
I kind of want to touch on the girls wrestling. That's kind of a new.
Yeah, we need to talk those.
It's kind of a new thing.
And bowling.
And bowling, yes.
And don't forget bowling.
Is that winter now?
It's always been winter.
I thought it was, for some reason I was thinking it was spring. Anyway.
No.
So, yeah, let's talk about a little bit about women's wrestling, or girls wrestling,
okay.
And then a little bit about the bowling team, which has been very good the last couple of years.
All right, we'll start with girls wrestling. I'm really excited for. We have a state champion, Rihanna Utterback, coming back her senior year. She has been recruiting very hard to get more girls out. I think we're up to 8 girls now. We had 4 last year. We have Rihanna, Sadie Clarahan, and Jolie Weir coming back. 3 out of the 4. Lana Thomas graduated, and then we've added, 3 or 4 more girls coming out. We had started junior highs. We got some of the 8th graders kind of building up into freshmen now, and then we've gained a couple more. So should have a full squad. As far as being 8, I think that's a really great number for us as being a second-year program. Really excited to see where that goes and builds up from this year. We have a lot of junior high girls, especially 8th graders that are are very involved in wrestling already. I saw 2 or 3 last night in open mat. Saw they were already in there getting started, and they don't start till after Christmas, and they're already wanting to get in the room and do some things. So really excited for that program to keep building. November 19th, we will be hosting our first ever girls individual wrestling tournament. And I just emailed Mr. Hatfield about that yesterday because we have 16 different schools coming to Sigourney, and those schools range from Clear Creek, Amana might have a full. There's going to be a couple teams that have full squads, but otherwise, like Baxter messaged me yesterday. They're coming down. They have 3 girls. East Union, all the way from. I can't even know where East Union is, UNB, to be honest. But they're coming. They have 4 or 5 girls. So, it should be. It's going to be a huge night for us. Sigourney will be hopping that night. So, looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's again. The girls wrestling is kind of a bigger thing. We've had girls that have made it to state in with boys as well, but now having this new, what's it like to kind of, I would say Rihanna is one of the big names, and she's bringing a lot of attention to it. What's it like kind of having a program that's almost not a center, but almost a center of building it around, and like you're going to have this tournament coming up. What's that do for girls wrestling in general?
I mean we're promoting, obviously promoting the sport, and especially with Rihanna, she's kind of that. Star beyond the star a little bit. She's going to these national tournaments. She was at the, I believe it was in North Carolina. She was at a tournament a couple weekends ago. She was at a tournament last week in Des Moines that she made the finals. I think she lost to a girl from California. So her experience and her expertise in the sport of wrestling and be able to pass that on to some of these girls is like, you can't put a number on it as far as value-wise what she's doing. And I'll be honest, I sat down with her last year and we built the schedule around her where she wanted to go. And I think it made the other girls better. By the time we got to the sectional tournament in Des Moines, I really felt good about where the other girls were at in their wrestling and where they were at in their season. So it really paid off for us. We'll see how this year goes.
Talk about some bowling then. Tell me a little bit about. I don't know much about bowling.
Don't forget, we got to come back to boys wrestling, but
we'll get back.
We'll get back. So we have boys and girls wrestling, boys and girls bowling starting up soon. Looking forward to that. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure we're gonna have a full squad. Landon Grinder's coming back. We have Wells Clark coming back. Owen Clark coming back. Liam Van Voltenberg back on that squad, and then there's a couple of freshmen. I don't know Aiden Griner, Landon's little brother. Pretty good bowler as well. So I think we'll have a full boys team that should be pretty salty. Coming back, the boys team has had with Brock Alderson graduating. We've had some really great teams, the last 4 or 5 years here, and looking forward to their experience and what they can do in their meets as well. We're part of the Tri-Rivers Bowling Conference with them, so we bowl against ADMs in that league. Gilbert's in that league. They're both basically bowling against 2A and 3A schools in that area. So, really looking forward to that. And the girls team should be fairly salty as well. I think we'll have a full squad there. We have the Montgomery sisters, coming in, and and Sophie Young. And my memory's going bad right now, but we will have a full girls squad. Callie McCoy was another one. But we'll have a full squad there, and I really think they can do some damage as well when it comes to the postseason.
When does that season start up? Does it start up at about the same time as wrestling?
Like November 11th, I believe, is the same time. This next Monday, girls wrestling starts. Our junior high girls basketball starts. Then girls basketball starts November 11th. After that, so then bowling starts on November 11th. Boys basketball and boys wrestling have to wait all the way out to November 18th before they can officially begin practice. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Probably because the postseason on football.
I would assume it's kind of linked to the postseason part and having 2 different associations, girls and boys, and the dates.
All right, so we've talked all about this. Now let's go down to something that's been a key piece to the Sigourney and Keota communities for a long time. Mm-hmm. Talk about boys wrestling.
Boys wrestling. Okay, we had a meeting. I believe we're sitting anywhere from 10 to 14 people, wrestlers right now. Brady Clark, Owen Minke be the couple of the top returners for us. We've got a good experience of kids coming back. I believe we have 4 seniors out of that 14, roughly coming back. Coach Van den Heuvel, and I was talking to Coach Jensen about how important wrestling and basketball are for us those seasons, just so our kids get out and compete and do some things. But you're kind of seeing some ups and downs about, we said there's, 25 to 30 boys out for basketball, and then you still got 14 more out for wrestling. Bigger piece of the pie is junior high wrestling. We're at 24 boys out for junior high wrestling right now. So huge number for us as far as, they want to get in their work and they want to try it anywhere in split seasons. So, there are some kids that you think, well, that kid's a basketball kid, but they're still out for wrestling because they want something to do and make them a little tougher. And, it doesn't hurt to learn different skills on their feet. You being a defensive back, your feet are very important, and especially in wrestling, and we think that helps them.
Yeah. Talking about split seasons in junior high, Amy Molnix was in here this morning. That makes me think back to Cade, which played basketball all season, decided he wanted to come wrestle at the end.
Pretty good basketball player.
Pretty good athlete.
Pretty good athlete in general.
And I talked to Coach Van den Heuvel the other day. Just me and him are buddies. I like talking to him, and he was really excited about wrestling. But he mentioned Cade and how just playing sports outside, like if you want to focus on something, it's more of a big school. When you're in a little school, you kind of got to play it all, and I think it makes you a better athlete in general.
Yeah, and being a multi-sport athlete, I think in general just helps you overall with whatever sport you want to focus on. We were talking about a former alumni, raking you in fantasy football a little bit. That young man, played, every sport, throughout high school. But
he could beat you at any sport he picked up, and he didn't even know the rules.
And probably still could.
Yeah,
probably still could. But if you talk to him, once he got to college, his game went up. Yep. His skill level went up just because it was his main focus. And I think that you see some of that from being a multi-sport athlete, and then making him a well-rounded athlete, and then all of a sudden you get to focus on those things. It makes you better.
It sounds like we got a very big schedule moving forward with
the
sports.
We do. My calendar in December and January is pretty full right now, Eddie.
How are you going to focus on the fantasy football league if you got too much going on?
Well, I think I'm tied for first with that individual, but I think I'm in second in that league. So I'm not trading off my team like you are.
Hey, it's a rebuilding season for the 49 Fins, okay? Yeah,
we're wrapping it up.
I think so.
All right. Well, Lee Crawford, thank you for your time. Thanks for coming in at the last second and being part of our show today. Again, our debut broadcast for the sports section here at Barnwired in Sigourney. Again, you can just smell the breakfast in the air. You can smell the coffee. Get in here to Barnwired. We'll bring them up on the screen here at 119 East Marion in Sigourney, or call in your order at 641-622-9912. Again, we thank Coach Weber. We thank Coach Weber from Pekin Panther Football, whose season ended last night. I know Coach Weber was in on not a whole lot of sleep this morning, so appreciate him. Appreciate the EBF volleyball team for coming all the way this morning. And, of course, Mr. Crawford from Sigourney High School, and our host, Eddie I was going to call you Eddie Crawford. Eddie Conrad in today as our host on the sports section. Again, we are live at Barnwired, our new home for the sports section. We'll see you here next Saturday morning.